more votes than any Republican candidate ever?
Ever in history.
Ever in history. You're the presumptive nominee, which enough with the presumptive already.
Right.
You told the world about your Tampa balls, which was the highlight of Super When you started all this, I just have to believe that you thought, this will be fun, it'll be a 4-month thing, and you never imagined it would go this far. Is that true?
Well, I've been asked that question on occasion, and I will say you never know what's going to happen. And I wanted to do it. We have such potential in the country. I had no idea maybe it would go this quickly. I was supposed to be working, as you know, until August. They were thinking we'd need a second convention even. You have the convention in July.
Right.
Then they said we'd need another one in August. And in the meantime, Indiana was so good to me, New York, Pennsylvania, all of them. They were so great. And the victory was so big that I am now here and I'm watching Hillary. It was supposed to be the other way around.
Right.
And I enjoy watching her.
Are you enjoying the Hillary-Bernie struggle that is happening right now?
Well, I do. It's getting nasty. I had no idea it was going to be so nasty. Bernie.
And you hate that. You don't like that kind of. In 2008, I want to get this right, you said you thought Hillary would make an excellent president. And as recently as 2012, you said you thought she was terrific. What did she do?
Let me just explain to you.
Yeah.
I will tell you. When I'm a businessman, I had a beautiful story recently where they said Trump is a world-class businessman. All over the world we're doing jobs. I speak well of everybody. If people ask me about politicians, I speak well. So when they ask me about Hillary, she's wonderful. Everybody's wonderful. And that's the way it is. And including contributions. They ask me for contributions, I give contributions.
So you were full of when you said it. I don't think you're taking credit for this, and this is something that I think is brilliant. And I know what your official position on this is, but let's, just forget them for a second. That call with that People magazine reporter, that guy who sounded like you calling and going, yeah, and then Trump did this.
It didn't sound like me, though, really. You think that sounded like me?
Yeah.
I don't.
You know how people hear their voice and they don't think their voice sounds like their voice?
It was 28. And by the way, the reporter came back and said, I think Trump gave out the tape. Give me a break. From 28 years ago.
Why would you give out that tape?
I think they felt that it wasn't my voice and they didn't want to have the liability. But honestly, I discussed this the other night on Hannity's show, and it was really a very good discussion. And check it out. But I will say this: to me, that didn't sound like my voice.
Well, nobody sounds like themselves when they hear themselves. You go, "Oh, that's me," but to me, it sounded just like you.
Really?
Yeah. And if it was you, I think it was a very funny thing to do, to call a guy and take him to the ringer.
Over the years, I've used alias, and when I'm in real estate, and especially when I was out in Brooklyn with my father, and I'd want to buy something, and honestly, nobody knew who Trump was at that time. Nobody knew me, so it wasn't so important. But I would never want to use my name because you had to pay more money for the land. If you're trying to buy land, you use different names.
What names would you use?
I actually used the name Barron, and I ended up using myself because I made a very good deal using that name. I used an alias in terms of setting up a meeting with Mr. Donald Trump. And it was, and many people in the real estate business do that. You use alias, and you have to, frankly. Otherwise, they find out it's you and they charge you more money, and nobody wants to pay more money.
When you name a kid Barron, does that put a lot of pressure on him to become a Baron?
He's a little Baron. That one is a little Baron, I will tell you.
Is he really?
He's a good boy.
Do you drive him to school and do those kinds of things?
I have. I love doing it.
Do you play games with him, like board games?
All the time.
Do you ever let him win on these games?
No, I try and defeat him at all.
Crush his spirit?
I want to win. I want him to win. And with your children, by the way, my children did very well, and I have great children, and 5 great children, and I want them to be successful. Sure. I want them to do really well. That's the whole deal with your children. I have friends that are very successful, and they actually don't like seeing their son or daughter do better than that. There aren't too many when that happens. When they're not very good fathers and they're not very good parents, but I've seen many people where they want to, they're so competitive with their children.
If one of your kids ran against you for president, would you crush them too?
I would try.
You would. Did you fire Ben Carson from your vice presidential team? Or did he quit?
I'll tell you, Ben Carson is a great person.
Is he? Because it seems like he's half out of it all the time.
He's very smart. He's a very, very fine person. And, I have Ben and I have everybody looking. I have a lot of different people looking. Ultimately, we'll make a decision and I'll make the decision. And we have some very good candidates. We have some wonderful people. I know you are sort of in the hot.
Yes, I would like to be considered. Yeah. When you put a guy in charge and you say, Ben, will you help me find a vice president? Is that a nice way of saying, Ben, you are not going to be my vice president?
Ben will be involved. I'll tell you what, he did very well. And when you look at what happened during the race, Ben was really right up there for a while and did a really good job. And
then we got to know him, and you steamrolled him is really what happened.
I think, look, I didn't want to steamroll anybody, frankly. And, we have some very good people up on that stage.
You didn't want to steamroll Ted Cruz? Yeah, you really are growing up. You really...
Now, Ted and I had some problems.
Can I make a suggestion about this vice presidential thing? Why don't you do this just like Celebrity Apprentice? Why don't you get these guys all in a room, women, whatever you have, and then each week it would be the highest rated show in the history of television. You eliminate one person, and they go back to wherever the hell they came from. See, this is why I would be your best vice president.
You won't want to miss Me Before You. Critics and audiences agree it's the most romantic movie of the year.
Is there alcohol in that?
Yes, sir.
She'll have to. I just want to be a man who's been to a concert with a current red dress. It's a few minutes more.
Me Before You. Rated PG-13.
Yeah, we rockin' right now. It's a party over here. It's a party right now. Hey.
Can a car be crafted instead of produced? Designed with attention and care to give a feeling that stays with you. At Mazda, every detail matters because driving matters. The all-new 3-row Mazda CX-9.
We never believed in fairy tales. Knights in shining armor all happily ever after. But you believed when the right book came along, you'd be ready. Time to shine. For it.
It's time for some straight talk. If you've ever been lured in by a low-price wireless plan, then there's not enough high-speed data, or your bill is packed with overages and mystery fees, stop falling for it. With Straight Talk's Unlimited plan, you get America's largest, most dependable 4G LTE networks, no contract, no tricks, and 5 gigs of high-speed data for just $45 a month. It's time to ask yourself, why haven't I switched? Get a Samsung Galaxy S7 or bring your own phone. Find out more at StraightTalkSwitch.com.
What would you give someone who taught you how to ride a bike? Who drove through the night to be at your graduation? What would you give someone who taught you not to be afraid of making mistakes and never expected you to be anything other than yourself? The greatest gift for someone who gave you these moments is to give those moments back. Doers, the most awarded blended scotch in history.
This is my body of proof.
Proof of less joint pain.
And clearer skin.
This is my body of proof that I can fight psoriatic arthritis.
With Humira.
Humira works by targeting and helping to block a specific source of inflammation that contributes to both joint and skin symptoms. It's proven to help relieve pain, stop further joint damage, and clear skin in many adults. Humira is the #1 prescribed biologic for psoriatic arthritis.
Humira can lower your ability to fight infections, including tuberculosis. Serious, sometimes fatal infections and cancers, including lymphoma, have happened, as have blood, liver, and nervous system problems, serious allergic reactions, and new or worsening heart failure. Before treatment, get tested for TB. Tell your doctor if you've been to areas where certain fungal infections are common, and if you've had TB, hepatitis B, are prone to infections, or have flu-like symptoms or sores. Don't start Humira if you have an infection.
Want more proof? Ask your rheumatologist about Humira.
What's your body of proof?
New Chic Hydro versus the loose tip. With a hydrating gel reservoir that gives you 40% less friction, it's designed by no other razor to protect from irritation. Sorry, loose tip. Chic Hydro, for your skin.
Stepping in a rhythm to a funky flow. Who needs to think when your feet just go? It's a party over here. It's a party right now. I love it, I love it, I love it.
The dog just lit it up and shut him down. But LeBron's got the heart of a champion. Buckle up, this one's just getting deep. The NBA Finals, Cavs Warriors, Game 2, Sunday at 8 on ABC.
Are you ready to talk about Whitney?
Bobby Brown, with Whitney and Bobby Christina both tragically gone, he finally opens up. The exclusive breaks first Monday and Tuesday on GMA. Then don't miss the Robin special Tuesday night at 10, 9 Central on ABC.
Your home, your auto. They just go together. Combine and save. Talk your State Farm agent today.
Nothing should get in the way of the things you love. Get America's fastest internet. Only from Xfinity.
Your home, your auto. They just go together. Combine and save. Talk your State Farm agent today.
Republican nominee for president. You only have, what, 28 more delegates to grab before that
Yeah,
happens?
very few, and I think it's, probably this week, it's going to be mine.
You're going to a big fundraiser later on tonight.
Raising money for the Republican Party.
Raising money, yeah, but part of it goes to you, and then the
A
rest
little
of it,
bit,
most
a
of it
little
goes to the Republican Party.
Much of it goes to the Republican Party senators and congressmen. We want to keep it the way it is, and hopefully, if I'm president, we'll have a nice Senate, we'll have Congress, we'll get things passed, and we'll reduce your taxes. Would you like to have a tax reduction? And many other things.
When you go to an event like this, where and people, obviously everyone knows you're a billionaire many times over, and you ask these people for money, is it like, I mean, do they go like, what, why are you asking for money? Is it like Papa John taking up a collection for a pizza delivery or something?
It's sort of a crazy thing, but I ran in the primaries and I said I don't want anybody's money, and I didn't want, and I put in about $55 million of my own money.